Hello and welcome to today's Modern Showcase video. We're going to be playing this deck list in the Modern Showcase event. I have been working on elementals for a minute, and what I will be doing for this event, I expect to see a lot of blue-white control. That deck has been really good and has been putting up results very consistently. I think that we're going to face actually a reasonable amount of elemental mirrors, which I think is another very good deck. I think we're going to play against the blue-red deck. I think we're gonna play against like stuff like Eldrazi and stuff like that, and just Lurrus decks all around. So because we're gonna be playing against a bunch of grindy matchups, what I was experiencing in my testing was that I was cutting Utopia Sprawl on all of these aggressive matchups, in all of these mid-range matchups, because like you already had the original list had 23 lands and for Utopia Sprawls. So what would happen is I would cut all of the Sprawls and I would be left with 23 lands, which was definitely not enough. It was definitely not enough because, the Sprawls make it so you have 27 sources, but once you cut them, you're only left with 23, and this deck is extremely mana hungry. So because of that, I thought of adding one more land and just cutting the sprawls all together, which is what I was doing in the sideboard matches. And by having 24 lands, we make it a little bit more likely to hit those land drops, even without the sprawls, because of course we have 24 mana sources. So this also allows us to play the fourth copy of Cavern of Souls, which I think is very good against the Murktide decks, and is very good against the blue-white X decks. So that's another reason for wanting to play the 24th land. And the other thing that we're adding is we're cutting the Sprawls. We're adding a couple of Flamekin Harbingers. I think this card is very good in certain matchups, particularly when we're playing 3 copies of Mother Drifter, because I think that a Harbinger allows you to either get your engine going, it allows you to get some cut advantage, or just get one of your heavy hitters. Particularly Solitude is very important in certain matchups. So being able to Vampiric Tutor the Solitude to the top of the deck, or if you have recently, if you can actually Demonic Tutor, which is pretty good. Also, we can play the main deck Endurance, which is extremely well positioned in the matchup, and the main deck Endurance makes a lot more sense once we're playing Harbingers anyway. So because of that, these were the cuts that I did for the Utopia Sprawls. I'm also playing 4 copies of Prismatic Ending. Torpor Orb is a really heavily played card right now because this deck is very good. So everybody's packing Torpor Orbs in the sideboard, so having access to the full 4 copies of Prismatic Ending in the main deck makes sense to me. This also answers, Goblin Guides, Monkeys, and like DRCs, etc. And we're also playing a couple of Lightning Bolts because of those cards, actually. So Bolt is almost exclusively for those cards, while Ending is very good against Torpor and a bunch of sideboard cards. So that's the list that we're going to be using. I've been very impressed by Mold Drifter, and you're going to notice that I'm not only playing 3 copies in the main deck because I expect a lot of grinding matches, but I'm also playing the 4th copy in the sideboard as well. This card has been really overperforming, and I want to make sure that I see it as often as possible. So big deal, love the card. The sideboard includes Rest in Peace, which is very good against the Murktide decks. It's very good against stuff like Living End, very good against stuff like the Reanimator decks, the Phoenix decks. Rest in Peace is overall very good. I already talked about how good Endurance is, so we have a couple of extra copies in there as well. Alpine Moon is there against Tron, even though with this deck list, cutting the Utopia Sprawls, adding all of these cards that don't really do anything against Tron. I'm kind of giving up on the Tron matchup. Like, it's the deck's absolute worst matchup by a mile. So having access to Alpine Moon in the sideboard maybe helps a little bit, but I honestly don't really have that many high hopes. It is, however, it's just a fine card to have, right? Like against Saga decks, I'm gonna be bringing it in, particularly stuff like Hammer Time and whatnot. So if I weren't playing Alpine Moon, I think I will be playing something like Force of Vigor or the like, another answer to Torpor Orb and a Blood Moon, and it's just very good against decks like Hammer. We also have 4 copies of Force of Negation against combo, and Engineered Explosives against some DRC decks, some creature decks, and stuff like that. So this is the deck list that we're going to be playing. Hopefully we do well, crossing fingers. And if you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you there for round number 1. Let's go. Alrighty, here we are for the Modern Showcase Challenge with this slightly experimental list of 4 color elementals, playing against... This is a Japanese streamer. can't remember what their name is, but I think that lately they've been playing like a bunch of the blue-white control deck, the blue-white chalice control. Yep, seems like that's what they're on. I think I'm keeping this. I know, maybe they are also playing elementals, who knows. Just gonna go turn 1 Hallowed Fountain. Really gotta hit that land drop. Really gotta hit that land drop. Cavern of Souls would be sick. Cavern of Souls is probably the best draw in our deck. That's not a great way to start the day. That's not a great way to start the day. Nope, not a great way to start the day. Probably shouldn't have pitched the Fury there. Cavern of Souls. So I think whatever we're playing is getting countered. We're gonna go to discard here, but I think that's fine. It's not looking good here. So I guess I can still find the cavern, so I'm not gonna fetch. Red, white, blue, prismatic ending there. Maybe this will lead to counters, but it doesn't. Okay. No, we still got bigger problems, but this is the matchup that we have for Cavern of Souls in our deck 4 though, so this is precisely why we have 4 Cavern of Souls. Cavern? No cavern. Could try to put Kaheera in my hand, but I think I'm gonna chill. Next turn we're gonna be able to Teferi plus Recent Reef. I'm gonna cycle Shark. It's not that big of a deal. Next game. Wounded Forces, Wounded Mole Drifter. Cut the Bolt. I think Endurance is interesting in this matchup. Just because we can play it at instant speed. Can pressure Planeswalkers pretty nicely. The secret is going to be find Cavern of Souls, win the game. So let's see if we can find another one of these 4 copies of Cavern of Souls. Would be nice, would certainly be nice. And things should snowball pretty quickly after that. That's been my experience. So any hand with Cavern I'll probably keep. I guess also hitting our 3rd land drop in time would be pretty cool. If that's not too much to ask. Well, oh, come on. We're gonna lose this match. I don't think I can mull to 5 and win this matchup, so I just have to get really, really lucky here. It's really frustrating to, you know, like try the deck, then, you know, figure out a couple of things, learn a couple of things, and then like build a deck with something special in mind, and then that just not matter. Like the whole point of playing 24 lands is to minimize the amount of one-landers that we get, make sure that we can, you know, make sure that we can I don't know, it's just frustrating. There's nothing I hate more in Magic than than missing land drops. We're just not gonna find anything here. Nope. That's not gonna do it. That is not going to do it. That is not going to do it. Really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. There's a land at least. think I'm gonna wait one. I think I'm gonna throw one of these recent reefs here, so my opponent doesn't get to scry. Draw two again. Yeah. 4 Cavernous Souls, 24 lands. I guess not good enough. Cavernous Souls. It's very disappointing. They're gonna counter this force. Red, green, blue, white. It's gonna get countered. I bottomed that because we're still looking for Cavernous Souls. It's still the only way that we can win this game. It is still the only way we win this game. So if I can get Recent Reef plus Ephemerate going or something. Well, at this point we just don't have the time. So I'm just gonna jam this Recent Reef. It resolves. Okay. I'm gonna try to draw another card right now. At least we get a 2-for-1 if my opponent's Solitude's here. Left 2 cards on top. Yeah, that's no good. That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. Cavernous Souls one time. Nope. They have Kaheera in hand and they did not play it. I think I'm gonna wait one more turn. Yeah, they have that card, I guess. I should have forced that card. That was just f6. I don't think anything really matters here, so I'm just gonna play this Fury, because if that ultimates we just lose, they're gonna counter it, and I'm just gonna see the match. That's a really disheartening first game. Hopefully we get to pick it up from here, but alright, see you next round. Alright, here we go for round number 2. This looks keepable. Too bad that this can get Steam vents. So we're gonna be lacking on red sources. Probably gonna get Burning Pool. I can also just wait. We just chill here. Rogan Triumph. That is a Ren. I think I'm just doing this. 3 for 1 in myself here, but we would get rid of the Ren, which means the Fairy reigns supreme. This is probably the creativity deck, I would imagine. Yep, certainly so. That's a really, really good draw. Red, blue, green. Play my own NAF, plus my TEF. Alright, that's like the perfect sequence that they could have had. If I find a fetch line, I'm going to be looking pretty good here, though. Green, blue, red, white. Draw the card. Looking for a fetch. No fetch. Which kind of sucks, because if my opponent gets to x equals 2 the creativity, we are in really bad shape. But once I get rid of this thing, we should be fine. Here we go again, looking for a fetch land. It's not quite a fetch land. It's pretty rough. Actually, let's hold on to the blue mana. I think we want to do green, blue 1. We're going to play recently here. that into play. Then we're gonna Fury, Pichinomnath, and I'm gonna kill Fairy. Ephemerate is just sick. Oops. Ephemerate is like the sickest top deck of all time. I don't think we have played our land this turn. Wow, they have the creativity. So they could have done this and they didn't? That's pretty wild. Maybe I should have fetched there to deal them the damage. Okay. It's kind of weird. Killing the dwarves is kind of a big deal because it means that they don't have anything else to do the thing with. To execute their combo with. Faithful Mending resolves. Actually relevant here. Now they technically can block. Very good information to know that they are playing Emissary there. I don't know why my opponent showed me that. So I think these are good. I think these are good cards. Endurance probably not so good. Fury being sorcerer speed is kind of annoying. Solitude is a big deal. Drifter is okay. Probably do something like this. Kind of want to keep in Drifter mostly as a card to beach to force. I think this is fine. Sure. This looks okay to me, I think. Opponent moves to 5. But my opponent's playing a Renin 6 deck, and usually one of the constants of Renin 6 decks is that they just mulligan very well, because Renin 6 is like a 1 card anti-mulligan or de-mulligan. So I think we go for this. I think I'm going to play it now though, and I'm going to look up Recent Reef. Is it Fire Ice? If it is, then I'm happy that they're using it. Yeah, I'm happy that they're using the ice part instead of the fire part. Let's play this Nem Elemental. We're gonna play this little boy. To for Recent Reef, see if we can get our engine going. Attack first. Now the question is, do we Recent Reef or do we Teferi? I think we want a Recent Reef because it has the biggest upside. Also, it's uncounterable, so if my opponent's holding on to a remand, it doesn't do anything. It's bad if they have another Fire Ice, which they do. It's kind of annoying, but it's fine. If we find the land here, we're going to be in fine shape anyway. Okay, another Reef. I still think playing around remand is probably the better line anyway. No green mana for Ren. Well, with them doing that, I think I'm gonna go for Omnath. Green, blue, red, white. So we're gonna attack the fairy first. Then we're gonna play our land. And we're gonna fetch. Gonna get another blue source, I think. Then we can do blue, white, this, and that's gonna be a fairy. Yeah, this allows us to hardcast force. I'm still trying to, get them low on mana there. They should have cracked the thing in response to. It doesn't matter. Sweet. Okay, coming back, 1-on-1. All right, here we go. Round number 3. Playing against Lurrus. His hand seems fine. But I'm mostly keeping this hand because we're playing against the Lurrus deck. I probably will not be keeping this hand against the average deck. But the fact that we have 2 turn 1 mana removal spells, and we have Fury and we have Solitude seems like a big deal. We could get punished by this. I think we're passing here. It's pretty unlikely that we get punished. Oh, blue, white. Huh. Well, I'm just chilling here, I guess. Probably gonna Fury next turn. So the Mariner is kind of annoying, actually. So I think I'm just gonna Fury, pitching the other Fury, and I'm just gonna pay for both. Or we can just draw the land and just kill everything. Yeah, this seems better. So 2, 1, and 1. Bay 1, Bay 2, Bay 3. Opponent puts Lurrus in hand, we draw Recent Reef, which is probably your best possible draw. Oh, tapped this wrong. Put that into play. Maybe I shouldn't put that into play because I didn't play land this turn. Either Vial. Another Vial. So their hand is Lurrus. And just unknowns. So I think I just want to play Endurance here to guarantee that I draw a card. It's gonna get pathed. Yeah, this is fine. So now we're gonna start hard casting Furies, and I'm definitely gonna shuffle myself, because I have the fetch land here, and having another Fury in my deck is obviously great for me. Now we're just gonna start hard casting our stuff, and my opponent is down to 2 cards. They only have a Lurrus in hand that I know of. I think this is locked up with triple Solitude Fury Prismatic ending. Seems pretty hard for my opponent to be able to beat this. Yeah, this doesn't matter. Probably gonna name Fury, I would assume. Maybe they name Solitude. Omnath, Locus of Creation. Let's find Hallowed Fountain, pass the turn. Name Elemental. Swing for 3. I guess I'm gonna Solitude right now. No, I'm not gonna. I could Solitude right now, but I mean, I'm really telegraphing this Solitude because I didn't put Kaheera in my hand, but I still don't know whether I want to Solitude this Meddling Mage, right? What I am gonna do though is if my opponent taps one of these Vials, because it could be either the Meddling Mage or the other thing, I'm going to. I guess they're not really, because if they play another Meddling Mage. No, I'm just gonna do it, because otherwise my mana goes unused. Otherwise my mana just goes unused, so. They can Violin in a Mariner, it just doesn't matter, we can just pay. Okay, they did have the Mage. They're gonna name Fury here, I assume. And their last card in hand is the Lurrus. Huh, actually, it's interesting that they... Because they could have named... Huh, they could have named... They could have copied my Solitude. And they didn't. Which is pretty interesting. But I don't want to kill the Mage. I don't want to kill the Mage because otherwise my opponent is going to be able to... my opponent's going to be able to replay it off the Lurrus. So I think we just chill here. My opponent's going to be able to play Lurrus here. They Lurrus, and then they can replay probably Unsettled Mariner. And then we untap and we Prismatic Ending the Meddling Mage that's naming Fury. It's gonna die because it's a Phantasmal image. And then we can potentially Fury. I assume they're gonna play Unsettled Mariner, yeah. It's far and away their best play there. So that being the case, so the play now is to Solitude pitch in Kaheera, kill the Mariner, Solitude pitch in Kaheera, kill the Mariner. We kill the Mariner, then we untap, we Prismatic Ending the Fury, we play Fury, we kill both of their things. Yeah, they're down to 0 cards. So that worked out nicely. Explosive seems good. Don't think I liked Fairy. Maybe Endurance over the Fairies. This doesn't do anything. Yeah, this looks fine to me. We should have a fine matchup. We should have a fine matchup. Yes, I think we keep this hand. It's a 1-lander, but again, we have like a bunch of very cheap interaction. Either Vial, just gonna ending that on 1. Off of a Sacred Foundry. Make sure we keep my opponent's mana in check. Lavinia. Just gonna bold the Lavinia here. Then we're gonna Explosives for 1. And I'm gonna play just 1 Explosives. We may get punished if my opponent has like an Apparition or something that can get rid of this, but I think this is fine. We're just gonna main phase crack this EE. Sure. So we're gonna get definitely a green source. I think it's gonna be Temple Garden. Nah, I'm just gonna Explosives for 2. And I'm going to do this right now. Get Stomping Ground, make sure we can cast Fury and say go. Cast Fury and Endurance. that a good draw? Is that a good draw? Something tells me that it might be. Play that. This game is over, I think. This seems like an unlosable matchup for us. Like, things would need to go extremely, extremely badly for us to lose this matchup. This is that's pretty cool, actually. I could have solituded my own Mole Drifter, but like we have an Ephemerate coming up, so we're gonna draw on more too. Like, sure, like that's just, it's just not gonna be good enough. Not even remotely close to good enough. Not even remotely close to good enough. So green, red, white, red, green, blue, play Omnath. Play fetch, game 4. Opponent says GG's. All right, 2-1. Start to getting back in there. The only problem is that us losing round 1 means that a lot of the people that we're gonna beat in order to go, you know, so we're probably gonna have to win out. We're gonna have to win every single match. Which the one time that I qualified for this event, that's exactly what happened. So hopefully we can keep that going. It's gonna be challenging, but I'm ready. Let's do it. All right, here we go for round number 4, playing against my friend Andrea Piegonti. And maybe we're playing a mirror. In any case, this hand is fine, so I'll keep it. It's gonna be an artless match. Definitely looks like a mirror. Most definitely looks like a mirror match. Moto is a little bit laggy here. Hopefully it's not a big deal. The funniest thing is I literally just reset Moto. White, blue, green, prismatic end in that thing. That sets me up so next turn I can do exactly what Andrea's doing right now, which is playing Recent Reef and protecting it with a spell. Green, blue, 1. Ugh. Yeah, I guess I'll have to resolve. If he wants to minus here, I guess he can do that. He pluses instead. So now we're going to be able to probably fetch a Stomping Ground here. If we find a fetch land, I'm just going to Omnath and do a bunch of stuff. If they don't, I'm just going to Teferi plus. Huh, okay. So now, I mean, this is just pretty good for me. Unless they have another ephemerate. Stomping ground. Another Fury. I could try to Lucksack. I don't think that's gonna work out well for me. So what I can do, I guess, is with the fairy. That means my opponent can't ephemerate. Then I plus the fairy. I bolt the fairy. Oh, no, I guess I can't do everything. So I would need to bolt the fairy first. Bolt the fairy, then play Fury, hitting both of these, and then I will blink Fury with that on the stack. I guess that's the play. And I guess I'm pitching the Flamekin. So we're gonna deal 2 and 1. Okay, that's fine. That seems like a fine exchange for us. So now their Solitude is gone. They're down to 1 card. They have an Ephemerate coming up, which doesn't do anything. And next turn we get to probably slam Omnath. So that Ephemerate is wasted. We're gonna take 6 down to 11. If we find a land, we get to Fury. If we find a fetch land, we get to Omnath plus Fury, which would probably be very good. Okay, no cards in hand for Andrea. I feel like my call of not playing W Sprawl has been great because it feels like we're just pre-boarded in all 3 matches that we played so far. So I'm just going to the fairy here. Man, not find a land here, it's kind of brutal. Bounce that. I'm gonna have to Fury. Otherwise, we're just gonna be taking too much from the Fury, and it would make the Kaheera a little bit awkward. Yeah, but my opponent's drawing, you know, some dead cards, and we just don't have those. I think we plus and pass. Just gonna ending here. White, green, red, ending. Protect our Teferi. They got nothing, which is good for us. Plus, pass the turn. Sure. Bounce their thingy there. There's a land. A little bit Teferi flooded here. Okay. Might as well do the same thing again. Well, that's a banger. That is a banger. So land. So now I can protect this with Ephemerate if we want. Yeah, that's fine. Just ending that. We're pretty far ahead here. I think we're pretty far ahead. Fury. White. Red, blue, green. Play Omnath. Can't find the land. Attack the fairy. I think I'm gonna ephemerate right now. Nah, there's no need to do this. And if, like, probably Fury is one of the few ways that he gets back into the game, so we're just gonna chill here. Maybe I will ephemerate on end step. Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. We won the 4th Mold Drifter. And I guess that's it. Yeah. I think that's all that we really want. We can cut... What can we cut? The Endurance. Yep, seems like a fine keep. Gonna go turn 1 Sacred Foundry. Say go. Probably gonna go turn 2 Fetch Land. It's very, very unlikely, but I may want to solely double Ephemerate. I don't know. That's probably never happening. Just gonna go with the top land. And at this point, we still want to draw at least 1 more land, so I'm just not gonna fetch just yet. He does have the Teferi. Imagine he's in a minus, yeah. No, I'm gonna protect that thing with Ephemerate, so. Gonna do Breeding Pool. Red, white, green, prismatic ending. Get rid of that guy. Next turn we get to Reef with Ephemerate backup. Mold Drifter. That changes what I want to do, I think. That messes with his mana pretty nicely, and now next turn we can Omnath plus Recent Reef plus Ephemerate, which is nice. We can also Solitude. And if he doesn't answer this to Fairy, we can do so at our heart's content, which is very cool. He does have his own Omnath, which is good. If he has a fetch land, maybe he can have a big turn here. He does. Okay, nothing to do with the mana is big. Well, maybe he does have stuff to do. So I think I'm just gonna play a land here, and I'm just gonna fetch for basic forest. Name elemental. Flamekin. Oops, misclick there. I did not want to do that. It's a Fury. I think I'd rather draw Moldrifter here. And I think I want to do this now. And I want to kill the Fury. If he has Solitude, this is bad. But if he doesn't, this is the best possible thing for us to happen. If he has another Fury, we're in trouble. I guess we're not in that bad of a shape, even if he has a Fury. Which he does. So that's definitely the best possible thing. Oh, he doesn't. Another Omnath. Okay. Please no Fury. He's doing this stuff very quickly. I don't like where this is going. That's a Fury. Yep. It's pretty good. So now this Ephemerate goes to waste. We already pitched another Ephemerate too. I think we're just gonna Fury now. Red and 1. He has the Ephemerate. Well, that's just gross. Now we're in a lot of trouble. Because now he's going to be super far ahead. He's going to be able to blink Fury, kill my own Fury. Yeah, killing that Teferi ended up being such a huge deal for Andrea. Bolt my Fury, okay. It's kind of weird sequencing. I guess that he wants to get the card then. Because what he could have done is he could have Ephemerate the Fury. And, you know, if I do have the Ephemerate that I'm representing here, which I don't, but if I did, then he can bolt my dude in response. He does have the land drop, and he's holding up mana, so let's start here. And we're gonna do blue, white, green, red. Would love to find fetch land here. I'm gonna minus on the Utopia Sprawl. Fetch land? It's not a fetch land. So now we're in really bad shape because he's gonna play Kaheera and his dudes are gonna be a little bit bigger than mine. I'm gonna be forced to chump the Fury, which is a little bit awkward. Here comes his Kaheera. Take the chump block, go down to 4. We do have another Omnath, so maybe that helps. Solitude. It's probably not gonna be enough. I think I'm gonna need the Omnath. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to find a fetch land here. It's the only way that I can win this game. It's not a fetch land. I guess I can still evoke. Still no fetch land, so now we're just dead. Okay. Yeah, this is fine to me. I'm gonna submit again. Maybe when I got the Mold Drifter, I should have gotten a Solitude instead. Maybe when I got the Mold Drifter, I had to get the Solitudes instead. Keep this hand, play these tapped, pass the turn. Play land, say go. Really would like to find a land here. Really would like to find a land. Land? It's not a land. So now it's like he stole the play, and now he also has one extra card, so it's gonna be kind of rough to win this one. We do have a lot of cards though, but if we miss one more land drop, I think we're going to be done. Oh, he's also missing land drops. Well, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just gonna play this tapped and say go. Chandra Awakened Inferno. That's a card. Jeez. Gonna get Stomping Ground here. Gonna evoke the Mold Drifter. Land, please. That's a lot. That's a lot to miss. That is a lot to miss. Yikes. Big yikes. That's a lot to miss. Oh, math. Land, please. I'm gonna give him a bunch of mana, but I think I have to. It's also not guaranteed that he's gonna hit that land drop, right? And it will need to be a fetch land for the Omnath to do the stuff that it has to do. And this way I get to protect the Recent Reef, and I get to get free value for the Solitude, both things, which seem like a really big deal. And if we do untap, I think we're going to be looking good. Definitely taking 4 here. It's not a big deal. Mold Drifter revoked. Thing dies. Even if he did find a fetch land here, I don't think I'm supposed to kill the Omnath there. He shocks, representing Bolt. Could have second bolt. This seems fine to me. Okay, so we get another 2 for 1 here, which is nice. Ephemerate Solitude. Okay, they should have not targeted. They just gave me 3 life for no reason. Okay, all of these exchanges seem good to me. I think I'm just gonna play Fury now, which makes it so the Ephemerate coming back from suspend doesn't do anything. Plays his own Fury. This does not feel good, but I think it's what I have to do. Play the land, I think. Ooh, I can play second Teferi here? And that forces... Yeah, I think that's good. So white 1, blue, play second Teferi, and then we're gonna plus. And now he can't play the Fury, which means that I get to untap and do the Omnath thing, or I can just cast Solitude. Yep. So now we have white, red, green, blue. Play Omnath. That's a big deal. So I think I'm just going to get planes. Just cast Solitude there. Hold on to the lightning bolt. I don't think we mess around with that. We just kill the Fury in response so opponent cannot protect it with Ephemerate. And just pass. It's not bad. If we have to, we can pitch to it. It's pretty mana inefficient to do that. Mold Drifter is very, very good. Wish I could draw my own. I think if I were him and I did have the Ephemerate, I would use it right now. And I'm gonna let him do this. If he has another one, Fetchland's good. Fetchland allows me to do a lot. Cast Fury. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kill that thing. He ephemerates in response. I'm gonna Solitude. 3, 4, 5. And now he has perfect info. So if one of the cards in his hand is a Solitude, maybe we're in trouble. He's gonna get to exile 2 of my things, and then I kinda don't have anything going on. So we just have to dodge Solitude. And then we should be good. All right. No Solitude. That's good. It's pretty good. He does have Risen Reef though. Can I draw my own Risen Reef? It's a lot. That's a lot. He has only one Ephemerate left in the deck. Five, 9. It's gonna kill Omnath. Yeah, seems good enough to kill Omnath here. So they use the Kaheera. It's a very good draw. Green, red, blue, and white. Start there. White, green, white. And this is gonna kill Tef. I'm gonna kill that one right now before my opponent can protect it with Ephemerate. Another Teferi could be problematic. Puts Kaheera in hand. One card left. Has Ephemerate here. Has Solitude, I mean. You get to draw a card. Yeah, this is pretty gross. All right. Let's go. Yes, yes. So I go get 1, 2, only 2 Ephemerate. So I just go get Mold Drifter here. Yes, Mold Drifter. Evoke Put that in hand. Draw 2. The fairy. Play land. Green, white, red. Kill that guy. And I think we trade Kaheera for Solitude here. Seems like a fine trade for us. So their hand is Solitude. They drew a Reef. Okay, we keep slugging. Keep slugging through this. So their hand is Kaheera plus Unknown. Fury would be kind of game winning. Fury would be kind of game winning. Missing that draw step is pretty rough. Yeah, missing that draw step is really bad. That's his last ephemerate. Please don't draw a Fury. Oh, that's a Fury. Yeah, that's a Fury. Solitude. Okay. They have to. Oh, they don't kill the Reef. All right. I should have gained life in response, by the way. Gonna block with Flamekin there. Mole Drifter is our best draw. That's a blank. So that probably means that we lose now. Man, I thought we were in this. And then we just drew 2 lands in a row. He's out of ephemerates, but yes, the fairy, okay. Obviously this is the only thing that's keeping me in here, so he bounced his Solitude, yeah. So I need to draw either another Reef, which we have 2 copies of, or Mole Drifter, which we also have 2 copies of. That's how we get back in this. We found Omnath too. That's an Omnath. I still have Solitude in hand. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. Yeah. Yeah. Drawing 3 lands in a row there is a death sentence. We don't have that many lands left in our deck, really. We're gonna take 5 plus 4, 9 plus 5, 11. 5 plus 4, 9 plus 5 is 13. 14, sorry. It's not quite lethal, but I don't think the decking them is what this game is going to come down to. They're out of Solitudes. So I have to draw Omnath or Recent Reef into Omnath or something like that in order to get back into this. So it's setting up lethal for next turn. And it's gonna be really, really hard to clear the board. That's not gonna be good enough. So we can kill this, and then we take white, green, red, I guess. So that's 12. Yeah, this is very, very much lethal. Very, very much lethal. Yeah, flooding there towards the end is going to put an end to our run. Yeah, it would have been great. We wouldn't have gotten there. That game was close. The Elementals mirrors are pretty fun in my opinion. I always have a good time when I'm playing this matchup. At XN2, I don't think we can do anything anymore. I'm probably gonna play a couple more rounds just because I think it's good content. But I think we're probably just dead for top 8. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next round. All right, here we are for round number 5. I'm gonna keep this hand. We're dead for top 8, but I think that I want to continue playing at least until I get 3 losses. We playing against the Lurrus deck. We just keep on getting rewarded by. I'm just overall very, very happy with my decision with my deck list and my decision to not play Sprawls, to play 24 lands. I feel like in both of our losses we got a little bit unlucky. Definitely in the first one, like not being able to hit land number 3 for a million years, never seen a Cavern of Souls, but. And against the Elementals deck, I feel like we put ourselves in a fine spot, and then we drew like 3 lands in a row, and that was a little bit too backbreaking. So I'm certainly happy, even if I'm not gonna be able to top 8. I'm happy with my deck list, and we're still playing for decent prices. We're probably not playing for top 16, but we may be playing for top 32. Which I think it's like 600 PP, so it's like some PP, some chests. Seems worth playing for. So I'm gonna keep grinding a little bit. But yeah, we're just playing against mono decks that reward me for my decision of being pre-cyborged against them, which is very, very nice. Let's say it's a little bit what's the word? It's not rewarding, the word I'm looking for here. I don't know. It's like a little bit of a pat in the back, I guess. Just a little bit of a pat in the back, even though I'm not gonna be able to get there. Arid Mesa. Oh, this may be burn actually. It is burn. So I guess maybe not so rewarded after all. So Recent Reef. So we're gonna have a choice now. I'm probably just gonna play the Fairy and attempt to time walk my opponent. They play the Eidolon. Let's do. Definitely want some red, so I'm gonna get something around here. Red card is the best. Excellent. Yeah, that's just perfect. So now I can go play Reef. Put that into play. Fury. It's possible I should have done this in the opposite order, but I think that drawing towards Sobnath is what we're trying to do here. Then we have green, red, basic island, and 1. And any land we find should put us in a pretty good spot. All right, we got two looks at a land. Red, green. If we find a land, I think we're gonna win. It's not a land, and that's also not a land, so we're probably gonna lose now. That's pretty disappointing. That's truly disappointing. Also, I should not have attacked, I guess. Because they can play that double 1-drop and attack me. And deal me damage. Yeah, this was just a bad attack. I was just... Yeah, that was just bad. Double 1-drop? Yep, we're dead. Oh no, okay. Land? Come on, baby. So I think this looks at the most lands, at the most, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna say no to that. Gonna gain 4. Gonna ephemerate Omnath. Put that into play. Gain more life. Draw another card. And that should be good. All right, good. Good stuff, good stuff. So I'm expecting my opponent to have... I'm expecting my opponent to have stuff like the enchantment, which I can't remember the name of right now. I don't want to cut out Mold Drifters because there are blue cards for 4s. Maybe the enchantment is just fine between Time Raveler and Prismatic Ending. Just Intuitive Expose is just such a medium. Maybe it's fine, I don't know. On the draw is just so bad. On the draw is just a little bit too bad. Opponent playing Lurrus in burn. Smart fella, my opponent. All right, are we playing or not? Yeah, I've joined the game, but then they're not. They chose to play first. Still don't reveal companion. There we go. Double Omnath is tempting, also with Prismatic Ending, but if we miss even a single 1-drop, we're just gonna lose. So, man, we have so much interaction too, but I think we're gonna have to ship it. Down to 6 we go. Down to 6 we go. Opponent. My opponent's been so slow, jeez. What are they doing? Maybe they're double queuing or something. That would explain it. Opponent also moved to 6, and this hand is so much better. I think I'm gonna ship the Flamekin. Although that's a card to pitch to the Fury. Nah, yeah, I'm gonna pitch the Flamekin. It is a way to find Omnath, but I don't think we're gonna have the time nor the resources. It's rough that we're gonna be taking a bunch of damage from our mana base. I don't think there's too much that we can do about that though. And we cannot find Sacred Foundry, which would ideally be the land that I would find on turn 1. so that if I draw a lightning bolt, I could just cast it on turn 2 without needing to fetch shock. So this hand is not like incredible or anything. I am gonna be mindful of making sure that I have double blue so I can hard cast this. So I'm probably gonna get Hallowed Fountain, Steam Vents, Hallowed Fountain, Steam Vents, Basic Forest. I think that's the setup that I want. All right. So that is probably their draw step, right? Well, that's not very good. Okay. Down to 10. This is not looking good. Recent Reef. Lightning Bolt would also be fine, so we can kill this. Come on, opponent. Can we please speed things up a little bit? So we're dead to double 1-drop, I think. Bolt is pretty nice. We can go get Breeding Pool now. I definitely have to do that main phase, unfortunately. Definitely gotta do that main phase so that my opponent can't play 2 1-drop spells and can make it survive in response. So Breeding Pool, we're gonna pass the turn. Yeah, I guess we're doing that. We have to start pulling ahead somehow, right? Hopefully this finds a blue card that we can pitch to force. This is super close. This is super, super close. Lightning Bolt. Not in the best of shapes here, but Boros Charm is pretty rough. There's an argument there for just playing the Fury simply to draw a card so we can find the blue card for force. I don't think that's a good enough deal, unfortunately. Feeling kind of dead. Yep. Feeling pretty dead here. We can't fetch even. All right. Opponent with a nice little slow roll. Yeah, we just flooded pretty badly there. All right. We get to be on the plate for game 3. And I still think that this is fine. Again, would like to have access to the resting pieces. This is the first match, I guess, where not having Utopia Sprawl is kind of a punish. This is the Lurrus deck against which Utopia Sprawl is actually good. It's bad against most other Lurrus decks, but also Burn overall is just not a great... It's not the best of matchups. Alright, game 3. Sand is not gonna be good enough. These are devastating, man. These are truly devastating. So I guess I have to hope for turn 1 Goblin Guide and for the Gobo to find me some lands. Land. Dodged. Rolling Vortex. So we're gonna go get Temple Garden here. White 1, Prismatic Ending. Done. Blade is stabbed. Seiko. Goblin. Ephemerate has shown up. I think I have to evoke here. Looking for a land. I didn't mix it, so my opponent's Searing Blaze is not good. We really gotta draw land. So my opponent has 100% Searing Blaze here. Yep. Never find land drops. Good thing that I chose to play 24. God damn it. Good thing that I chose to play 24. Down to 6 we go. Helix face. So I'm gonna have to pitch the Omnath. Which was our way out of here. Yes. Blue, white, green, red. I want to draw first, then gain 4 here. Now we want to get a plains to this. And I want to ephemerate the Omnath. Gain 4 more, and this should lock it up. Awesome! Alright, that was a sick top deck. Literally best possible top deck you could have found. Awesome, 3 and 2. Gonna keep it going. Alright, here we are for round number 6. Ship that one. We're gonna keep this hand. Last time I played against this opponent, they were playing a deck. I think they were playing Delver. So I think I'm just gonna hold on to the Cavern. It's probably correct to hold on to the Cavern anyway. I guess unless I assume my opponent's playing Blood Moon. My experience has been that this matchup is fairly good for us. So DRC. Pass the turn here. I think I'm just gonna cycle this Murder Drifter on turn 3. I think they're just holding Counterspell, which is great for me because Cavern of Souls is an unreasonable magic card. Nim Elemental. It's not bad. Consider. They're ditching Iteration? So they're just trying to turbo out this Channeler? Pitching the Iteration sure is something. Maybe they're trying to set up Murktide? That could be it. So our best draw is probably Endurance, I want to say. Oh, they just have another Iteration. Okay. And holy hit to the bin. Let's see if they did find the bubble, which is probably the best thing they could find there, obviously, because it it just makes the channeler into a 3/3. I doubt they're gonna play something else here. It's totally playing into my Fury. Target themselves with bubble. Fetch, shock. So next turn I'm just gonna Fury, I think. I guess unless they Murktide. Gonna be holding on to this fetch for whenever we draw Nomnath. Gotta assume that we're gonna see some other threat here. Yeah, we're gonna see Murktide. If they don't play a Murktide right now, I think we're gonna win. They do play a Murktide. It's a heinous draw. I'm gonna pass in Solitude. Monkey. Takes care of the Murktide. Gonna bolt the Solitude now, which does pump the DRC. That's a substantial amount of damage there. Our best draw is Somnath here. Endurance maybe? It's not bad either. Gonna counterspell this because they don't really have anything else to counterspell. I may get raised here if my opponent has a bolt on top. They have a heat. The last card could be Lightning Bolt. I will need to draw an Omnath here. Unless they have Bolt. Can we draw Omnath here? They should definitely cycle right now. Omnath? Easy. I guess I'm gonna... No, because if they have Heath, I can just Ephemerate Omnath, so... Green... White... Play this... They don't do anything, so... Play Fetch Land... And this should probably stabilize me. Most important thing here is to gain the life. So I'm gonna upkeep fetch. Iteration is pretty good. Iteration is certainly quite good. So what we're going to be able to do next turn is we're going to be able to go Flamekin into set up Recent Reef, or if because I can blink my own Omnath. So they can find Double Bolt here. If they find Double Bolt, I'm dead. If they find Double Bolt, I'm dead. If they play Murktide, we're still fine. Being counterspell. They're using a lot of mana this turn. Chaining these iterations. Lightning Bolt. Okay, so my opponent found it. Looks like they found it. Gonna Double Bolt me out of the game. Yep. They dug a lot. They dug a lot for what's worth. They really dug to find that win. So I guess I'm gonna Omnath here because I can find exactly Solitude and save with my Omnath. Just exile my own Omnath in order to gain 4, but no such luck. No such luck. All right. So the Endurance are coming in. I think I want the Forces. The Rest in Peace I do like. And I think the Explosives I like as well. The Fairies are kind of awkward because they enable my opponent's counter magic. All of the removal is great. I think the Flamekins have to go. Just gonna do this. Prismatic endings and bolts to kill my opponent's early creatures. Okay. It does look like my opponent finally cut the Delvers from their deck. Good for them. They saw the line. They finally saw the line. I think I'm shipping the Fury here. That's the best way to play around Blood Moon. Do I want to play around Blood Moon? I'm just gonna send the land. Yeah. Opponent kept 7. Which is slightly scary. It's a monkey. Another endurance. Torpor orb. Okay. Three, 4. I'm playing around counter magic. That's why we did that there. We can make another one at instant speed if I pitch the recent reef. Maybe that's another reason for playing explosives here. I think we're going to put this in hand, and then I'm just going to cast the Endurance by pitching Recent Reef. If they fetch. Playing around counter magic here. Which I found that this kind of deck actually keeps in a lot. They do have heat now, which is a little bit annoying. They are fetching for islands. Would be awesome to draw Rest in Peace. Well, now, probably not anymore. I guess Rest in Peace is still the fine draw here. Fury. I could just hardcast this Fury, which sets up an attack for next turn. Oh, we don't have Stomping Ground anymore because the stupid monkey exiled it. Well, that's pretty brutal, actually. That's pretty brutal. All right. Stupid monkey, man. I just feel like I get owned by like This stupid monkey just exiling the most random stuff. So frustrating. So freaking frustrating. Maybe I should have just pitched. Yeah, I should have just cast the Fury there. This allows me to start attacking. Maybe they'll just jump here. Hit the Fury. Left on top, which is very bad news. Yep, that's the second Murktide. Second Murktide means that my opponent's going to be able to grow the first one. We don't have an answer. We have 4 Torpor Orbs and 4 Torpor Orbs, 2 Teferi Time Ravelers. We haven't been able to find any of those cards. Just gonna take 10. And we have to draw exactly Teferi this turn. And hope that my opponent doesn't have another counter spell. Teferi. That's not it. They should attack with both of their other creatures as well. Yeah, I guess I have no way of winning. I have no way of winning anymore. Because even if I draw Solitude, it just doesn't do anything. Alright, Torpor Orb too strong. Torpor Orb too strong. And I feel like my list is better. Yeah, that would have been an answer to Torpor Orb. That would allow me to do the thing. I feel like my list is better versus Torpor Orb than most. Because I'm playing 4 endings, but still wasn't enough. Rexen 3, I think I'm just gonna drop. It's unfortunate how this played out. Like, I do think that the Murktide matchup it's actually pretty good, but my opponent was ready, and you know they just got there game 1. Psych, we're actually still playing. I'm gonna ship this hand. Opponent does not reveal companion. I don't know. I kind of felt like playing some more, so we're gonna play some more. I think we pitched Fury here because Harbinger can actually get our engine going. Let's play the tapped Seiko. Alright, so opponent plays the land. I think we just pass. What could we be playing against? Maybe again the creativity deck? That's at least what I'm thinking. Oh, it's this deck. Oh, we're probably super dead, I guess. We're probably super dead. Gonna fetch for Temple Garden. And I think I'm just gonna go with Omnath here. And we're gonna try to hope that my opponent whiffs and try to stay above. Try to stay above life. Red, blue, green, white. This has to be the meme deck, right? The Calibrated Blast deck. Yep, it is. They revealed Throes of Chaos, so we're gonna take 4 here. And I guess if they whiff, we can just Solitude my Omnath. Okay. So now they're gonna reveal something. They reveal Throw of Chaos again. That's pretty good. So they whiffed there. Blue and this. Evoke Muldrifter. Let's Ephemerate. Play this. Pass the turn. So this matchup should be bad game 1, and then game 2 and 3 should be a little bit better. Enters the battlefield, target player loses 1 life. Okay, so we lose a life. My opponent does nothing, which is kind of what this deck does. Oh, I messed it up. I should have gotten Omnath there. Omnath would have been a lot better. So let's name Elemental. Blue. Play Risen Reef. Put that in play. 1 blue, white. Fairytime Raveler plus. Tap for 1. Take another point of damage. They do nothing. Well, now we're going for Omnath, right? I guess we attack first. I guess we can just bounce our Flamekin. Now we tutor for Omnath. Flamekin first, say yes. Play Omnath. Reveal Omnath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play Omnath. Put that into play, gain some life. Draw a card. So you can make a lot of plays here. Omnath. We may be able to just go off. If we find another land here, we can go off. We were not that lucky, unfortunately. Needed to find the land there. Bold face. Yeah, I'm not gonna go for it, I don't think. Just gonna chill here, and if I have to, I can just gain some life. Oh, that was bad. I should have discarded the land. This is one of the cards that I was thinking about pitching to Solitude. Alright, so we want forces, we want Muldrifter because that pitches to force, we want endurance to do stuff at instant speed. Bolt is bad, Prismatic Ending is bad. And I guess Muldrifter we can cut. Yeah, this seems good enough to me. Alright, so this hand seems great. We got lands, we got force. We're just hoping for I think I'm gonna get Hallowed Fountain here. We did draw Omnath, which is an important piece of the puzzle. Okay, so they do have the thingy. I imagine they're gonna do it on upkeep. No upkeep. Well, I'm gonna chill then. What if they have multiples? Maybe they have multiples. Just not playing around counter magic at all. Hopefully that's good enough. I mean, they have 3 cards that matter. Oh, they have the other one. Okay, so I guess I lose. I guess they can whiff again. Did they whiff? They whiffed again. Dude, this deck is so bad. I mean, I may lose to it, but that doesn't make it any less bad, I guess. So I think I'm actually going to... Recent Reef just... Muldrifter just draws more cards. And we're looking for specifically force. Nothing else really matters, so... Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so... I think I'm gonna pitch... one of these Recent Reefs. Alright, here we have another Ephemerate coming up. We're gonna blink around dude. Hopefully find another force. No other force, but it's not bad. So blue, red, green, white. Play Omnath, draw another card. Still looking for a force. Gonna fetch, find the planes. Gonna reef. Put that into play. Deals them 4. And I think I'm gonna ephemerate looking for a land, looking for a force. Or I guess I can also find endurance. So I can also find another ephemerate. So I'm gonna Drifter here. Fury. I can Solitude my own guy. I'm gonna Fury Preach Fury just to draw a card. Endurance is pretty good because endurance means that we can get rid of their graveyard. So we're going to endurance, pitch Omnath here. And we can gain 3 life. What has my opponent revealed? So they have a bunch of like 15s. They also have Emrakul the Ion Storm, so gaining 3 is not enough. So if gaining 3 is not enough, I guess I pass. I think I pass. Couldn't find the force, unfortunately. Do they have another one? I can look for a force. I think we just roll the dice. We see what they reveal. They reveal 14 damage. So I guess I can Solitude, pitch Omnath to exile my Omnath and try to find either a white card. That's a white card. Now I can Solitude, pitch Solitude and exile my own Solitude. Put that into play too. Gain some life. Go up to 21. Take a bunch of damage. Upkeep, Ephemerate Mold Drifter. Let's see what we find first. It's a lot of lands. So I can go get Omnath, right? No, we're out of Omnaths. No more Omnaths. No more Omnaths. Since there are no more Omnaths, I guess I want to find Mold Drifter? No, actually I want to get Endurance so I can get rid of my opponent's thingy. So green, green. Hardcast Endurance. Get rid of their thing. That into play. Play this, name Elemental. Control that. They don't have that many cards that matter. We have pseudo stabilized. I guess it's a way to put it. Gonna draw 3, still looking for force. Still looking for force. No force to be found, however. We can either go Kaheera or we can invoke Moldrifter. Moldrifter allows me to attack. Kaheera allows me to attack, sorry. They have Ramming Up Ruins, so I'm at a virtual 5 right now. I really would not want to fetch if I can avoid it. I think Kaheera allows me to percent lethal next turn. So I'm gonna go with that. My opponent can kill the recent Reef after combat. Guess I can also not attack with the Reef. Now I'm gonna attack with the Reef. Means like opponent takes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What a game. What a wild, wild game. So now they're going to be able to kill the Reef. Which is fine. It kind of feels like Reef did its job. And now next turn we have lethal in the air. So we just have to dodge this one turn. Well, I guess my opponent doesn't have double red for this. So we just gotta dodge this one turn. If we dodge this one turn, we're good to go. Yes, sweet. 4 and 3, I guess. We're gonna play the next couple of matches. It's been fun. I really enjoy playing this deck, so just want to keep going. All right, I think this is gonna be the second to last round. Probably keeping this. Too bad I can't find Sacred Foundry, but this hand seems fine. We may have to buckle up here, get ready for another mirror match. Or not. Playing against control with Cavern of Souls is almost like cheating, though. I expect this matchup to go a lot better now that we're hitting land drops. And not only that, but we're hitting land drops and we have Cavern. So I think this is gonna go a lot better than a round 1 match. I think this is just gonna get Temple Garden. Field of Ruin. So that's gonna tag my Cavern of Souls. We have another one, so not too much of a problem. Ephemerate is not bad at all. Just gonna find the white source here. If opponent has another Field of Ruin, maybe we start to get a little bit worried. That's great. The only problem is now we cannot cast Omnath, so that is not so great. What we can do is we can go with Moldrifter. And I'm going to trigger the recent reef first, so we see what we find here. Find another Harbinger. So I guess I am going to go find Mulldrifter. I'm not going to cast it because I don't really want to do that in the face of a potential counter spell, right? It's big Tef. Gonna draw the cards first to see if we find a land. We don't find a land. Well, that's pretty rough. Gonna attempt to ephemerate here. Opponent's probably gonna counter this, which is fine because this means that now we are free to Fury. Pitching, I think, the Lightning Bolt. Fury for 4. Say no to that. Now, one there, one there. Again, can't find Sacred Foundry, so I think I'm just gonna get Stomping Ground. Probably gonna have to make sure that I play a little bit quicker. Another Recent Reef is nice. Gonna go get another Mulldrifter. Chalice doesn't really do anything. 1, 2, 3. Play Recent Reef. Say no to that. Fairy. So we're going to attack, potentially baiting my opponent to cycle a shark to trade with the Recent Reef. Seems like opponent does not do that, so now we can. I think I'm gonna play the Teferi. Life total is pretty unlikely to matter. Opponent's gonna counter this. That's fine. Archmage's Charm? Well, that's great for me. Awesome. That's pretty good. I think we're looking pretty good here. Next turn we can Omnath. My opponent's probably gonna Wrath here. They are. Which means that now I can either Omnath. Well, now we are definitely Omnathing. So blue, green, red, green, blue, white. Play Omnath. Play fetch land. Fetch. Temple Garden, say yes. 1, 2, 3. We have 7 mana, so we can hardcast Mold Drifter. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm gonna go Recent Reef actually. Prismatic Ending is kind of nice. It's a card that we can use for something. I guess it's worse than just doing this. Oh, actually it's not worse than doing that because now I have to discard. Whoops. That was bad. I think it's fine. We have enough stuff going on. Like this already something that my opponent kind of has to wrath away. Even if they cycle Shark, I can just cast the Solitude. Ephemerate, Solitude kind of sucks a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exile the Solitude, put that into play. Yeah, I should have Prismatic Ending last turn. We're still doing fine, but that was definitely a little bit of a misstep. Definitely a little bit of a misstep. Hardcast Shark. One, 2, 3, 4. So there's like literally no risk. So red, white, green. Start here. Draw 2. Casting Shark Typhoon just never works out. Missing land drops here, which is pretty shitty. For their own Tef. That is fine. So they have Wrath. Oh no, they can't have Wrath. I have my own Teferi, so that's just very good for me. So their hand is Shark. Well, that should probably do it. Play Omnath. Fetch. Yes. Green. Another Teferi is pretty nice. White, red, blue. Prismatic Ending. And that should do it. Okay, so Mole Drifter is great. Endurance is kind of meh. Lightning Bolt is kind of meh. Forces are good. Let's do 3 and 3 of those, and we should be good here. Opponent may have Torpor Orb. Some blue-white lists have been playing Torpor Orbs lately. So maybe they could be playing Torpor Orb. Cavern and Lance. That's exactly what we want to see. Chalice. Interesting that they still have Chalice in the deck. Steam Vents tapped. Put this into play, name Elemental, and we're gonna go find Recent Reef. Get our engine going. Recent Reef, pass the turn. If they have Field of Ruin, that's pretty bad for me. Now the question is, am I? Oh, they have Field. That's really bad. That's super bad for us. Recent Reef. Giving up Hardcast Force here. Cavern of Souls is our best draw. Hey. Yep, that one. That one's our best draw. Blue, white, green. One could have Shark. This is just an attack that's simply not worth it, right? Sure. Draw 2, that's fine. Verdict. Sure. Mole Drifter, draw 2, F6. Next turn we can get rid of the Chalice. We don't have Force Up, which is pretty unlucky. We haven't found another blue card. Gonna get a Hallowed Fountain here. Make sources. It's pretty nice. Oops. So we can't do both and hold up ephemerate. So I think I want ending. Putting counter spells. Then I'm going to just pass the turn, I guess. I could put Kaheera in hand. But then we can hardcast Force. So I'm just gonna pass, and I guess I'm gonna make a Solitude on my opponents instead. If they have the new FOF, I'm probably gonna force that. I'm not forcing that, I don't think. Just they could have a big Tef. They can't even use these. Again, we're another, again, a little bit stuck on mana. So we're gonna attempt to Prismatic Ending that again. Opponent may have a counter. Looks like they do, which means we get to 1, 2, 3. We get to play Teferi. Now we plus. I guess they can attack it with Hold of the Storm Giants. Maybe that was a reason to hold this guy back. Oh, they just have Prismatic Ending. Yeah, maybe that's a good reason to have bounced that, I guess. That's a 2-turn clock, I guess. Gonna Wrath here. Spreading Seas is pretty bad for me. I'm gonna Prismatic Ending the Kaheera. They play their own Kaheera. Well, this is great for me because it actually gives me a target to use this Solitude for. Well, they're tapped out. 2, 3, 4, 5. And I wanted to play that card anyway. Gonna chill on the Cavern for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have enough to Solitude the hole if my opponent attempts to block. Which I guess is pretty good. They probably have to wrath this. We'd like to draw some recent reefs and stuff like that. Here comes a wrath. Oh, hardcast shark. Okay. So we can bring my opponent down to 1 here. They're going to draw 2. They take 6, 8. I mean, that's the best that I can do, really. We're getting kind of owned by these. We're getting kind of owned by this chalice. So this brings my opponent down to 2. We gotta dodge a wrath. 4 cards in hand, which is not a great prospect for us. Let's hit the fairy. If they plus, I'm going to be pretty worried. Because that probably means that yeah, it's not looking good anymore. We don't have bolts, which funnily enough would be awesome right now. So that kind of sucks. Something good. Force of negation doesn't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess I just have to go for it. There's not too much that I can do. I'm just quickly falling behind at this point. So if they have a counter spell, I didn't have the thing in time to punish them. So I think this is the best that I can do. I'm supposed to kill this, send both at them, and my opponent is going to be forced to chomp. I guess I can set that at them and these at the fairy. And if they have literally any spell, we're in trouble. Okay, but that means that force is now live. Okay. Maybe we can somehow be in this. That's a land. 4 mana for verdict. Yeah, that's rough. So we're gonna need Omnath. We're gonna need one of our good cards here. That counts. Cast. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Just maybe. Force. And that's their last card. Ugh. So now we're going to be taking 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 down on 1. So I guess I shouldn't have played that. This Chalice owned me. Huh. Because of how the game ended up playing out, Chalice totally owned me. Lightning bolts would be so good right now. Lightning bolts would be so good. Oh, down to the last card. Super close game. Super close game. Something good. Fury. Doesn't do it. Okay. Endurance is interesting because he can force my opponent's hand. On the play, it's even nicer. That Chalice, though. Harbinger is fine. I'm just cutting the Fury. It's kind of the most awkward card. Alright. What are we gonna see? Sure. I'm gonna keep this. I think I'm jamming this recent reef on 3. Oops. No, this is fine. They're chalicing for 1. Okay. Definitely taking this chance to resolve the reef. Nolan sucks. No land super sucks. No land super sucks. Honestly, maybe I should have just prismatic ending there. My opponent may have gone for it. Because now if they spreading sees my white source, we're in super bad shape. Deluge. I think I'm stacking. How am I stacking triggers here? I think I'm stacking Flamekin second. Or do I really want a blue card for force? I guess they may also have force here. They don't. I think I really need to find my land drop. Here we're gonna find probably Mold Drifter. Yeah. If they have big TEF, that could have been a problem. Ephemerate would be probably the best top deck now. Put that into play. Oh, I guess I messed that up. I shouldn't have done that. Because I may whiff on Ephemerate here. Ephemerate one time? No Ephemerate. Feels bad. So we really have to weaken pitch Omnath, which I guess we do. Omnath is our best draw, or another recent reef. Gonna get Steam Vents here. Actually, let's do Sacred Foundry. We're falling behind here. We're certainly falling behind. Definitely falling behind. Hardcast Shark. The fairy off the top. The fairy off the top. Another one's not gonna do it. Another land is not gonna do it. I feel like we've been, I don't know, I feel like we've been putting ourselves in good spots here, but somehow nothing ever worked. Which is kind of sad. Jeez. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can swing for 9. Because I can untap, ending the shark token. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My opponent down to 3. Probably too much. That's just probably too much. Really need to hit here. Really needed to hit there. Really needed to hit there. Founding 2 lands is just, it's just so devastating. So devastating. Guess we can draw Fury off the top and hope my opponent has nothing. Omnath. Yeah, that doesn't do it. It truly is rough. It truly is rough. Like, we saw exactly one recent reef. That's period. We did see 3 more drifters, but we couldn't really take good advantage of them because we didn't find a single ephemerate. And now we're just too far behind. We didn't see a single Teferi. Yeah, right on cue. All right, that's enough for me. We're dropping to XM4. Might as well just play the last match, but I don't think we're not even live for top 30 to 64 at this point, so we're no prizes for us. But it's like just one match away, so I might as well play it. That's a really rough way to go, though. I feel like I've gotten super unlucky these matches. Just drawing like a multitude of lands at the worst possible time. It is magic sometimes. All right, see you in the last round. All right, here we go with the last round. Playing for funsies at this point. That's fine. Deck is fun, so no arguments here. I think we're keeping this. If we miss land drop, it's going to be a disaster, but we have 3 looks at a land, and we have some interaction early in the game. So this looks like Murktide, I guess. Well, that's just dead. Just going to go Temple Garden on turn 1, I think. And then this can fetch Steam Vents. Their mana should be online. That's one of the best combinations because it allows you to both cast a Fairy and cast a Recent Reef. And it just sets you up very nicely to Gusty Omnath as well. Alright. Opponent. Are you there? Hello? Okay. So there goes that. What's going to happen here? They don't do anything, which is good for me. It's also a pretty good draw. Am I still getting Steam Vents? Probably. And then we can fetch Basic Forest from the Misty. Basic Forest also casts Endurance. Imagine they do nothing. Okay. For sure I take nothing. So our best draw would be Cavernous Souls. I think I'm throwing one of these Mold Drifters under the bus though. Well, I'm gonna play this Teferi, I guess. Gonna trade 1 for 1. Probably gonna trade 1 for 1 next turn. Okay. I was not expecting that one to resolve. They're just... yeah, this is just insanely good for me. This is just ridiculously good for me. Unless their draw step was probably their one-off spell pierce there. That one is resolving. Can't find Sacred Foundry awkwardly enough, but Draw 2 main phase. And still miss the land drop. Just gonna highlight fountain here. So my opponent's now dealing with this Teferi. They're also dealing with this recent reef. Not hitting land drop there sucks a little bit, but I think we're far ahead enough that it doesn't really matter. Weird art for Stream Visions. That means that the fairy dies to hit though. Yep. Alright. We're still pretty ahead. We're still pretty ahead. Okay. It's 3 volts down. Just gonna hard cast this small drifter. Pull the beat downs on. Ephemerate is obviously a fantastic draw. Pretty ahead on board here. Even if they play Murktide, which they don't. Swing for 2. Just gonna find Sacred Foundry, so just gonna cast another one of these. They try to go for a bolt or something. Definitely gonna attempt to Sacred Foundry. Just gonna attempt to Ephemerate here. It's probably gonna bait a counter spell, which should time walk them again. Or this is just a 2-for-1 when we were already ahead. They shock. Locus Murktide. Okay. Murktide's pretty good though. Prismatic Ending's not gonna kill it. We find Ephemerate, we can kill it. That I guess is also a way to quote unquote kill it. Play that tapped, say go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 mana, so if we find another red card, we can cast a Fury and pitch the other one to kill the Murktide. They have second Murktide? That's a lot more problematic. So if they have any removal spell for the Merle Drifter, I'm gonna lose. I was not expecting to lose this game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they have 2 unholy hits left. Do they have another counterspell? They've only used 1, so they could have won. They don't. Sweet. So we're still in this. We could find recent review. Ooh, okay. Green, white, blue, red. Omnath, can we find a land, please? Find ephemerate. Unfortunately, don't think we can risk it. We're gonna have to solitude to kill this. Fairy definitely coming in clutch there. Oh, whoops. So that trigger on the stack. Because that's a lethal threat. And now we're going to be able to Fury and blink it. It's a 6/6. Another Omnath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast Fury. Do that there. Force. Huh. Well, good thing I drew another red card, because that could have been a problem. So they're down to 0 cards, so this is a good attack. Because they can have an answer to the Fury and also a way to attack me, so... Drew kind of well there. That's probably my opponent's best up deck there. I guess Iteration would have been better. Because it also draws 2, but it does so for less mana, so it allows them to play more stuff. Wow. We kind of... I don't want to say that we got away with something there, but we kind of did. Gonna shave 1 Flamekeen. Bullets are fine. I think we'd shake both Flamekeens. And maybe one of the Furies. Solitude is better than Fury just because it can get rid of the other guys. Of the Murktides. I don't think we want Forces, and Rest in Peace, if we are able to land it, should be very, very, very good. It's probably one of the best cards in the matchup. Maybe Leyline is better, but I think it's better to play Rest in Peace than Leyline. Did I just forget about my companion that game? I think I forgot about my companion. I'm gonna keep this hand. How much am I supposed to play around Blood Moon is the question. I guess a little bit. So DRC. And the passing of the turn. If my opponent taps out here, I'm probably going to Solitude Ephemerate here. So 1 Prismatic Ending is gone. Iteration. The treasure token is just staring at me. I have a 1-drop. I have a 1-drop removal spell. It's kind of the best thing that could have happened, because now I know it's safe to resolve not only my Solitude but also my own Teferi. So we're gonna go blue, go to Plains, Solitude, pitch Solitude. Exile that. Blink. Now they're gonna have to minus to take care of the Solitude. Otherwise the Solitude just attacks their Tef. So this is low-key pretty good for me. Now the question is, am I playing Recent Reef or am I resolving Teferi? Because the issue with playing Teferi is I just get answered single-handedly by the thing. I think I'm gonna go Recent Reef. What I know is about the Solitude. Kind of would like to draw an Endurance. Endurance would make my Teferi be cleanly out of Holy Heat range. Opponent is a person of culture with the superior counterspell art. You love to see it. You love to see it. I think I'm resolving Time Raveler this turn. And I think I'm just minusing. No, I'm gonna plus. No, the question is, do I shock or not? Don't seek, I shock. I shouldn't have done that like that. So Cavernous Souls is my best draw now. If I find Cavernous Souls, I think I'm gonna be in really good shape. Gotta find Cavernous Souls. Easy game. The easiest of games. Drew a card in the process, which is nice. That was actually an insane draw. It's not even funny. That's a ridiculously good draw. Mind-blowingly good draw. Nothing was even remotely close to that draw. That was the draw. Lightning bolt, so they're gonna kill my recent brief, I assume. Okay. Okay. Dude. I'm so sorry for my opponent. These draws have been absolutely disgusting. These draws have been just absolutely disgusting. I assume that's probably game. Unclear what they can draw from here. Even if they find, I guess they could find another Murktide and then, I don't know, another Murktide and then I don't even know. What I think I'm gonna do though is I'm going to probably Endurance on my opponent's upkeep. Okay. That also gets eaten by the Endurance. We're gonna go to upkeep. Holy heat. Maybe I should have Kaheera there. Jeez, this game was something else. This game sure was something else. Even if they Blood Moon me, we still got access to Prismatic Ending. We still have another Mold Drifter coming down. We have Ephemerate up. Point only has 2 cards left. Jace the Mind Sculptor. I'm gonna Ephemerate here. Gonna do Hallowed Fountain probably, because doing that allows me to answer the Jace. I'm gonna say no here. Answer the Jace while still allowing me to hardcast Mold Drifter. So now the Jace is dead. Endurance is such a good card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so all the lucky that we did not get in the previous rounds, we got in this round. This is slopped up. We got lucky in this round for all the unlucky that we got in all the previous rounds. That was pretty outstanding. I mean, I guess we still have to finish this game. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess this means I can't cast Endurance, so maybe that was bad. It doesn't matter, my opponent's off it. All right, 5 and 4. 5 and 4. We're probably gonna be pretty low. Maybe we manage to get a top 64. Maybe. Pretty unlikely because our breakers are probably awful. I did a little bit of a wrap up earlier, but in case you missed it, this is the list that we played, and I think I liked it. I think my decisions made sense, and I feel like the matches that I lost, my deck list in particular gave me the best shot at winning them. It's just I either just flooded or I didn't hit my land drops like I did against the blue-white deck, mulligan to 5 or something, or 6. So I feel like I like this deck list for this specific metagame. It's possible that in an open metagame, playing Utopia Sprawls is where you want to be, but like barring Burn, I think Burn was the only matchup that I played today where I would have liked to keep the Utopia Sprawl in Cyber of the games, I think. So yeah, the only thing I could see is maybe adding some extra lightning bolts in game if in the sideboard for matchups that require you to play early, be the UR Murktide deck and stuff like that. And another thing that I would consider is if I'm gonna be going kind of ham on bolts, maybe I will need to adapt the mana base, because Sis, I think we have exactly 13 sources of red on turn 1, which is a little bit on the low side. So if we're like if you're bringing in lightning bolts, it's more often than not because you want to be casting them on turn 1, and if you want to be casting them on turn 1, then we're probably going to need some more red sources. Maybe that means that we have to cut Cavernous Souls, though Cavernous Souls was amazing when we drew it, and we played against control 4 times today. We played against counterspell decks 4 times. We lost 3 of those, and we kind of won all the ones where we found the cavern, and we lost all the ones where we didn't. With the exception of like that against round 2, I think, where I set up the recent reef and my opponent immediately had the Field of Ruin to both shuffle away my reef and also get rid of the cavern, which was literally the best possible thing for them, because it did both things. Like even if it had been something like Spreading Seas, then I would have been able to just cast the recent reef and be able to resolve recent reef and get that going. But like the fact that it was exactly Field of Ruin made it so it was like it just got entire value out of the whole situation. But yeah, I like this list. I'm going to continue playing Elementals for sure. So if you would want to, if you want to watch that kind of content, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It was sort of a marathon, and we still don't know. There's like still a couple of matches going, so I'm gonna wrap things up right now while it's still fresh for me. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.